Hello and welcome to this video about the Holodomor famine. The Holodomor was one of the most devastating human disasters in modern history, causing the death of millions of people in Ukraine and surrounding areas during the 1930s. The Holodomor was a man-made famine, caused by the policies of the Soviet government under Joseph Stalin. The Soviet government had introduced collectivization policies in the early 1930s, which involved the consolidation of small farms into larger collective farms. This was supposed to increase efficiency and productivity, but it led to widespread disruption and resistance. To crush this resistance, Stalin's government imposed a policy of requisitioning grain from the farmers. This meant that the farmers were forced to hand over their crops to the government, leaving them with little or nothing to eat themselves. In some cases, farmers were even punished or killed if they tried to keep any of their own grain. The consequences of these policies were devastating. The farmers, who made up the majority of the population, were left without food or resources. They were forced to eat grass, bark, and even their own shoes to survive. Many died of starvation or related illnesses, while others were killed by the government for resisting the policies. The Holodomor was particularly devastating in Ukraine, which was the breadbasket of the Soviet Union. Ukrainian farmers were some of the most productive in the country, and their grain was used to feed the rest of the Soviet Union. When the Ukrainian farmers were forced to hand over their grain, they were left with nothing to eat. The Soviet government denied that there was a famine at all. It claimed that the grain requisitioning policies were necessary to support the industrialization of the country, and that any shortages were the result of bad weather or other factors beyond their control. The government also prevented any foreign aid or assistance from reaching the affected areas. It wasn't until many years later that the full extent of the Holodomor became known. In the 1980s, Ukrainian activists began to speak out about the famine and to demand recognition for the victims. The Ukrainian government officially recognized the Holodomor as a genocide in 2006, and many other countries have since followed suit. The Holodomor remains a deeply traumatic event in Ukrainian history. It is estimated that between 3 and 7 million people died as a result of the famine, and many more suffered from its effects. The Holodomor is a reminder of the terrible consequences of authoritarian government policies and the importance of protecting human rights and freedoms. Thank you for watching this video about the Holodomor famine. We hope that it has helped to raise awareness about this tragic event and its lasting impact.